Hello, this is Kitty, and so this morning I was given a challenge by Juan Palamo, or Palamo, however you pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm sure Jeanette will tell me. Anyway, Juan, thank you for the challenge, and I'm going to let Nancy know about it. And if you're going to give us a challenge, you know, and I said one ingredient, you said two. You said Cumin and Tarragon, I believe. I'll double check that. If you're going to give us a challenge, give us something a little bit more difficult, because this is going to be easy as pie. Those particular ingredients, particularly cumin, is used a lot in Indian dishes, and that, my friend, is a specialty of Nancy. She does a lot of vegetarian recipes and a lot of Indian cuisine. She has family in India, so she knows what she's doing. But anyway, I'm just going to show you real quick, and I'm going to make something. This is dried tarragon here in this bag. This is it was fresh, and I dehydrated it. Also, I picked up, I don't know if you can see that or not, some fresh tarragon. And so I'm going to incorporate the dried and the fresh in my recipe. Also, I've got cumin, and these are some black seeds from India. They're the black cumin seeds. And real quick, I want you to know a little bit more about these black cumin seeds. Look it up on Google, because it's still a cumin seed, and I'm going to use these too. And I'll get to that when I actually start the recipe. But they're calling this particular seed the heal everything except death seed. And so we're going to use that. And I'm so excited about this first challenge. And I'm sure when I tell Nancy about it, she'll have something spectacular to make and also video. And so look for this coming up really soon in the next few days. My challenge recipe, and it will be spectacular. Thank you, Juan. If anybody else has any challenges they'd like to give to us, remember, one ingredient, something that we can find in just about any grocery store, and we'll make a recipe and incorporate it into that recipe, whether it's one we find and change it, or if it's one that we just throw together, or however. So, you know, look for us on Facebook, or, you know, subscribe to us on YouTube. See you soon. Okay, so for the challenge, I've decided I'm going to use a shoulder roast, and this is not just any shoulder roast. This is venison. Yes, folks, it's deer meat, and I've decided I'm going to make a curry stew. The ingredients that Juan has given me to use is perfect in curries. Curries can be a little bit on the spicy side. Mine's going to be a little bit mellow. So stay tuned. Okay, there is the deer roast, the venison shoulder roast. And I am going to put a few things on it and just let it kind of soak in there for a little while, and then I'll put it in the crock pot and let it slow cook. So what I'm going to do first is, as I said before, I'm going to use the cumin tarragon. And so I have a little bit of dried tarragon that I dehydrated myself right here. I'm going to put this into my coffee grinder. And also the black cumin seeds. I'm going to put some of that in my coffee grinder. And let me see if I can set this camera somewhere. No. Let's see. I hope you can see this. So anyway, let me get a spoon. And then I'm going to put about 1.5 teaspoons of the black cumin seed into my coffee grinder. Now, remember, this is the seed I said that will cure anything but death. If you get a chance to look up black seed on Google, check it out. Very magical. Alright, and we're going to put in some tarragon that I've dried. Let's see, let's use these 2 of these sprigs here. And I'm just going to take them and just get them right off of the stem. Whoops. And of course, I'm getting them everywhere. Okay, let me just get a little bit more in there, because I want to get this in the powdered form. Okay, don't worry about closing that up right now. Plug her in and give it a go until it's nice and powdery. Oh yeah. Okay, and as you can see, it's nice and powdery. You can see it in there. I'm just going to take and I'm just going to put that right on top of everything. Oh, that's a lot, ain't it? But you know, this is going to be a curry. Oh my goodness, it smells really cool. I like it. Okay, so and on top of that, I'm going to take the already powdered cumin, and I'm just going to put that on there. And then, let me see. Oh, got to put it back. Put the camera back for a minute so I can get these open. And I've got the tarragon, the fresh. I'm just going to get the leaves off of that and put that in there. Just put it right on top the meat. And then I'm also going to use some cilantro. Let's see if you can see that. Cilantro. Yeah, I'm going to put some cilantro in here. And how I'm doing that is I'm just going to take, and with the cilantro, you want to pinch the leaves. I'm going to use stem and all, just kind of pinch them up and just stick them in there. And I'll show it to you in a second. How aromatic. The cilantro. You know, a friend of mine showed me about the cilantro, and it is so worth it. I'm going to put some more in here. And the reason that you kind of pinch it is to release the, you know, the wonderfulness of it. Okay, let me see, get the camera here, and then you kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this. Now I'm going to add a little something, a couple of other things. If I can find, yes, here we go. Red wine vinegar and olive oil. So let me put the camera back here. Hopefully you can see. If not, I apologize. But I'm going to put, let's see, splash, 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 splash. Oh, about that much. And then the olive oil. And that's about good enough. Okay, and you know, I just got this bottle, this red wine vinegar bottle. Isn't that cool looking bottle? Oh, you know, I need a bunch of these because I like that bottle. Okay, so the main ingredients that I was given to use for this recipe, were the black cumin, or not the black cumin, but I'm using black cumin, was the cumin and tarragon. And as you can see, I put that in there in 2 different ways. Now I'm going to put a couple little extra things in here that I think would be good in my curry. If I can find. Where is it? Ah. No, can't find anything in here. I really need to take a day. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put some of this in here. You know me and my parsley flakes. I like the parsley flakes. I'm going to put a little bit of dried parsley flakes on there as well, too. Oh, and salt and pepper. And if I have some, I know I have some around here somewhere, some curry powder. Why? Because. Why not? And that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, here goes a little bit of sea salt. If I can find my pepper. You know, I really need to get it together when I do these videos, don't you think? Oh, here it is. It's behind me on the table. Okay, so some pepper. And then I'll probably put a couple shakes of some curry powder in here. If I had some saffron, you know it would be going in there. You know what? I'm going to put some of my homemade celery powder in there too because I like it. So let's put a good dollop of that in there. Oh, there's my curry powder. Okay, curry powder. I'm going to put some curry powder in there. You know, it's coming out way too slow. There we go. Okay. I'll show you what I did. There it is. Now I'm just going to turn this in this pan, cover it with a plate, and put it in the refrigerator for about an hour. Then I'll put it in the crock pot. And probably add a little bit of water. And when it's halfway done, I'll probably add some potatoes and celery and carrots. And whatever else tickles my fancy. So, you know, we threw some things in here. We're going to let it go. We'll come back here in a little bit and we'll see how it's doing. Alright, so I just took this venison that I've had soaking with the herbs and took it out of the refrigerator. And I'm getting ready to put it in the crock pot. I'm going to slow cook it. I asked my good friend who's really good about curry, you know, a little bit of advice. So, you know, I won't lie. Thanks for some of the advice, Jay. Meanwhile, because the venison is so lean, I need to add butter to it. And I couldn't really decide if I really needed some more olive oil or butter or what. So I'm going to use a combination of the both. So one thing I'm doing, and you know, most of my recipes, I kind of make them up as I go. And this is what we're doing today. I'm not going by anything written down. So in this bowl here, I put some beef bouillon in hot water. About a cup and a half of hot water. And where's my beef bouillon? Alright, that's chicken. I have no idea where I put everything. So anyway, it's beef bouillon. Take my word for it. 3 cubes in hot water. Okay. And then I've got my crock pot right here ready to receive. And so I'm just going to pour that right down in there. Look, there's the bouillon. Alright, it'll cook down. No biggie. See them? Okay. And then I'm just going to put... And, you know, neither side of this meat, it's so lean, so it doesn't really matter. Normally I like to put the fat side up, so that way it'll go through, and so I don't have any of that. Meanwhile, I still got some goodies in this pot here, so I'm just going to put some water in here, swish it around, and add it to there. But I need to, look, I need to wash my hands. Okay, my hands are clean now. So, I've got about that much butter, and I put some water in with what, the rest of the spices I had. And I'm just going to pour that in there. And not really a whole lot on the top of it, because I don't want to lose that from the top. This little pat of butter that I have down here, I'm just going to stick that right on top. Then I'm going to put it in the crock pot, put it together, and start it cooking on high. And while it's cooking on high, I'm going to get my potatoes, carrots, and celery ready to go in. And then I'll add that in a little while. I have the potatoes and celery in cold salted water. And the reason for that is I don't want the potatoes to start getting black spots on them or anything before I'm ready to put them in the curry stew or whatever. As you know, I'm making it up as I go. Anyhow, I wanted to apologize. I know I mentioned carrots earlier. I'm out of carrots. So it's just going to be the potatoes and celery that go in. I could probably put an onion in here. I might do that in a little bit. Yeah, I think I will. I'll probably cut a large onion in large chunks. I like onion and things like this. But that kind of depends, because I've never done this recipe before. And even though I can do curry okay by winging it, never really used the black cumin before. And I noticed that when I was grinding it in the coffee grinder, the aroma of black cumin is like, well, it smells like motor oil. So, fair warning, let's see how it tastes once cooked. They say it's a cure-all, it'll cure everything but death. So when you use the black cumin, the black seed cumin in any recipes, don't feed it to somebody you don't like. So, only give it to people because it's supposed to heal everything. And that's all I'm going to say right now. Let's just take a look. I really don't like opening this because it's not been in here long and I'm not ready to add anything. But you can see the butter is starting to melt over top of it. I did drizzle a little bit of olive oil. And let's see. It's not smelling like motor oil. It smells pretty good. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'd like to also mention that cooking is, some people call it a career, some people call it an occupation or a job or work. Cooking is actually just a way of life. Cooking happened long before there was even the first cooking school. Sometimes it's a job. Sometimes it's a hobby. Sometimes it's something to relax with. Cooking is a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and at different times can feel like something totally different than normal. But it's a have-to thing. We have to eat every day. Also, just kind of wanted to mention, over here is my dehydrator, and you can see I've got pieces and parts of celery in there that I wasn't using in here, and I wanted to get it used up, so that and also some potato peelings are in my dehydrator, and I'll get that going. As you know, I love my powdered celery. And also taking the potato peels, and I didn't peel the potatoes completely, just like half peeled, because I like to keep some of the peelings on there because it has such nutrients in it, so, what word am I looking for? It's nutritious. Anyway, but the, celery, I'll use it as a seasoning and for other things. The potato, pieces, I do powder it up, and I use it for other things. You'll probably have to watch my other channel for that. Anyway, let me just go ahead and stop this right here, and I'll be back when I'm ready to add the potatoes and celery, and it might be a little while. Okay, so it's been an hour in here since I put the broth in there and showed you the vegetables. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these vegetables in here now. Let me see if I can set the camera up so I can have my hands free. And yes, folks, I'm going to use my hands. I still have the potatoes and celery right here in the cold water, and I'm just going to get them out and just kind of set everything around. And I'll be right back because, as you can hear, somebody's calling me. Okay, so I've got the potatoes and the celery in there, and I added just a little bit more water. And yeah, there's a few things sticking up, but as they cook down, you know. Now, I just talked to Jay again, and he suggests that I make a roux, and I'll be doing that here before long. He also suggested that, and I didn't do this, and you may want to try it. It might be better, I don't know. But before you put the meat into the crock pot, you might want to sear it on all sides in a frying pan with butter and olive oil. I didn't do that. I just stuck it in here. But like I said, I do everything by trial and error. I gotta tell you, it is smelling really good. And we're gonna just I'm gonna cover this up. We're gonna let it cook for a while. And then, you know, I'll be back, of course. Well, it's still slow cooking, and it will be taking a while. It's still on high. And, not much changes. I mean, things are starting to cook. However, I decided to leave the onion out. I decided after tasting the broth that, oh, it's good. And I don't want to take anything away from that or add to it. The flavor of the broth is really good. So, I don't know yet because it's still cooking, but I think I might have nailed this challenge. We'll see. There's Pippi. She's patiently waiting for dinner. I haven't had a chance to wash their food bowls from breakfast out yet. But Willie's not bugging, and that's kind of weird because he's normally the first one to bug. Anyway, so it was suggested I make a roux, and I was told how this roux should be made, so I'm going to try to stand this camera up right here. Hopefully you can see. And we're going to use butter. Let me turn the stove on. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of butter, and just a couple little pads, and a little bit of olive oil. About that much. And I'll get the camera and show you. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so we've got the butter and olive oil, and I'm going to let that melt a little bit. Then I'm going to add a little bit of flour, and then probably some of the juices, the fluid that's surrounding this. And I'm going to make a roux to add to it later to kind of thicken up our venison dish. Okay, so let me set this back down. See if it's going to be in a... Is that good? Okay, I think that's good. Anyway, I gotta move stuff around here because I don't have enough space in this kitchen. One of these days maybe I'll have a bigger kitchen. We'll see. I don't know. So I've got this heat on a medium high. I'm going to turn it down to a medium because this gets too hot. And then I think I'm going to do just a little over half full of flour. And I'm going to thicken it. Let me get some of this juice from over here. About a scoopful. Maybe a couple scoopfuls because that's quite a bit of flour. I mean, normally roux is just, butter and flour, but we're making it flavored. We're making it kind of thick. And I think that's good. And there it is. I don't know if you can see that. And this is my thickening agent. And I'll be putting that in there. Well, it's ready. And you can see I was going to try to take this off. I can't even talk right now. I'm so tired. And that pudding I made just a little bit ago was so good. But anyway, it's just falling right off the bone. Look at this. Look at how tender this was. I was going to take and plate it up and then slice it, but look. And it smells good. There's a lot of broth in there. It probably could have been a lot thicker. But anyway, I went ahead and plated myself some up. And I haven't put anything on it. No butter, no nothing. Not anything. I know I've got a grammar Nazi out there that's listening to me. And I'll hear about it. So let's try the meat first. Look at that. Nice and tender. Let me try it. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Little potato. And look at, I still got the spices in here. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at that. So tender, so good. Oh, okay. Gotta try some veggies and see some of that tarragon the fresh tarragon. See it? They're hanging on my fork. Okay. You've seen it here. Juan, thank you for the challenge. I hope you paid attention to what I did here, and I hope you try it. I'm going to challenge you now to make something. If you videotape it, you know, upload it, let us know. Stick it on the page. And if you try this recipe, or I'm just going to challenge you to doing the same thing. I want you to make a dish, anything at all, but I want you to include tarragon and cumin, whatever you call it. Include it in the recipe, and let's see what kind of a masterpiece you come up with. Now, don't lie to me now. I know you can cook. So, happy eating.
Back.